Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night. Last time, Shiro just got used again by Shinji to clean up the archery range, and now it's long past curfew, and there's been stuff going on in town, so gee, I wonder what could possibly happen here. It's gonna be something good, I'm sure. I'm doing good, you know. The wind is blowing. It's so cold that my cheeks are getting numb. Fuyuki City isn't usually cold during the winter, but it's cold tonight of all nights. My breath hangs around as a white cloud. I wrap up my body to hold off the cold.
なんだ、暗いと思ったら月が隠れてるのか。
There's no light in the sky when I look up. Because of the strong winds, the clouds are moving fast. It's past curfew, and there's no sign of life in the empty school. It seems this place is filled only with chill, as it's all silent. Just now, I think I hear something.
確かに聞こえる。校庭の方か。
This night, I must have been curious about the sound that broke the silence. To investigate it, I find myself heading there, even though I somehow know that I mustn't. I go to the schoolyard.
人？
Well, they only look like that from a distance. It's a dark night with no light. If I want to know more, I'll have to go closer to the schoolyard. I can hear the sounds louder now. It's the sound of metal hitting metal. That must mean someone is fighting with weapons there.
バカバカしい。何考えてるんだ、お前。
I dismiss the image from my mind with a bitter smile and walk on. At that time, maybe my instincts noticed the danger, as I hid myself as I approached. I don't know if this is fortunate or not. But anyways, when I get by a tree that's big enough to hide myself, I take a closer look at the source of the sound. My mind stops completely. There's something strange there. A man in red and a man in blue. They're dangerously armed, and as their ominous appearance suggests, they're actually slashing at each other. I can't understand. I can't follow them with my eyes. My brain doesn't work properly, faced with their impossible movements. But the clang of their weapons tells me that they're trying to kill each other. I just knew immediately when I saw them. They're not human. They're probably just things that look like humans. I can tell because I'm learning magic. Anyone would realize that they're not human. After all, humans can't move like that. So there's something that no one should associate with. I can feel their murderous intent, even from a distance. I'm going to die. My body understands faster than my brain that I'll definitely die if I stay here. That's why my heart is racing so fast. As a living thing like them, I sense that they're living things made only to kill. They're using weapons made only to kill. I remember the murder yesterday. They said the family was killed with some weapon like a sword. I shouldn't watch any longer, but my body won't follow my commands, and I can't even breathe. My mind wants to run away, but my judgment tells me that I'll be seen the moment I run away. More than the conflict within me, my body is just numb. Even though I'm a good 40 meters away, I can't breathe properly, and it's like I have a spear pointed at my back. The sounds stop. The figures separate and stand facing each other. The moment I feel relief that at the end of their battle, I sense an even stronger intention to kill. My heart stops. The numbness in my body becomes convulsions, and I clench my teeth to try to hold my trembling body.
嘘だ。なんだあいつ。
An overwhelming amount of magical energy is flowing into the guy in blue. Kiritsugu showed me once what it's like to draw in magical energy from the surroundings. It was a beautiful magic that impressed even an amateur like me. But that thing is different. just as even the simple task of drinking water could seem ugly if it goes too far, what he's doing is so excessive that anyone with knowledge of magical energy would hate it. He's going to die. The guy in red is going to die. It's a blow with that much concentrated magical energy. There's no way he'll be able to survive it. He'll die. He's not human, so something merely like a human will die. That's something I can just ignore? That doubt takes my mind off of them. The binds on my body disappear, and the instant I take a deep breath. The guy in blue stares at me, who's hiding. The blue guy's body sinks. Just that motion tells me that I'm his target now. My legs start running automatically. I finally realize that it is an action to escape death, and I put all the energy in my body into running away. I don't know how fast I run, but before I know it, I'm in the school building. I regret my actions, panting heavily. I should have run into town to get away. What am I doing fleeing into such a deserted place? And a school of all things. Isn't there some better place to hide than here? Anyways, why do I think I'll be killed if I don't escape? My heart aches from running so much. Turning around, I can sense nothing pursuing me. The only sound in the air is the sound of my footsteps. So I can finally rest. I stop my feet, unable to take another step, send oxygen to my pumping heart, and look up to finally realize that I'm safe. I recall the scene from earlier while catching my breath. Anyway, I'm sure that it wasn't something I should have seen. Some things like humans were fighting in the school grounds. That's all I can remember. But there was something else I saw out of the corner of my eye. But I can't remember what that figure looked like. To be honest, I didn't have the composure to notice anything other than those two fighting. Dun dun dun! The voice comes from the right of me. From right in front of me. He speaks in a friendly tone. I can't breathe. My brain stops, and even though I cannot think, I vaguely understand that I'm going to die. The lance is casually raised. Oh, shit. And the man's lance mercilessly pierces Miyashiro's heart. There wasn't even time to dodge it. All the training I did was for nothing. I knew I was going to be killed. I knew I was going to be pierced by that lance, yet I couldn't move at all. The world distorts. My body grows cold. Feeling vanishes from my fingertips. I cough up blood once. More blood should have come up, but it only happens once. Perhaps the man's lance is special. The blood slowly clots, and the heart that should have exploded stops working with just a single pierce. Game over, man. Game over. I can't see well. There's no feeling in me. I feel like a jellyfish floating in the dark sea at night. I don't feel any pain already. The world is white, and only I am black. So rather than feeling like I'm dead, it's more like the world around me has disappeared. I know this. I felt this 10 years ago. This is how someone feels when dying.
死人に口なしってな。弱い奴がくたばるのは当然といえば当然だが。
I cannot concentrate on my vision.
まったく嫌な仕事をさせてくれる。このざまで英雄とは笑い草だ。
I can only hear voices.
分かっている。文句はないさ。女のサーバントは見たんだ。おとなしく戻ってやるよ。
A voice filled with irritation. And after that, I hear footsteps running through the hallway.
アーチャーか。蹴りをつけておきたいところだが、マスターの方針を破るわけにもいくまい。まったくいけすかねえマスターだこと。
Exposition ho! The voice suddenly disappears. I guess he jumped out of a window or something. And after that... Footsteps approach me and stop. In that brief period, more footsteps. I can't hear much now.
追ってアーチャー。ランサーはマスターのところに戻るはず。せめて相手の顔ぐらい把握しないと。
Whose voice was that? I concentrate my fading mind, but I can't remember anything. Right now, my breathing is too noisy. My lungs must still be alive. The air coming out of my mouth is as loud as a hurricane.
その割にはまだ死んでないってのはすごいな。
I sense someone looking at my face. Perhaps my breathing was loud as the figure tries to close my mouth and...
やめてよね。なんだってあんたが。
I hear the person grit their teeth. Then they touch me without hesitation.
破損した臓器を偽造して代用。その間に心臓一つ丸々修復か。
A pain-filled voice. With that, my voice stops fading. Or my mind stops fading, right? Yeah, mind, not voice. Feeling returns to my body. Slowly, bit by bit, like a drop of water going down a leaf, feeling returns to my body. What is the person doing? The person is sweating and places their hand on my chest with all their heart. When I notice, the place where the person placed their hand is terribly hot. It must be so hot that the frozen blood melted and started to flow again. I sense someone take a deep breath and sit down.
疲れた。
I hear a clang of something falling.
まあ仕方ないか。ごめんなさい、父さん。あなたの娘はとんでもなく薄情者です。
And that's it. The person speaks to mock themselves and leaves. My heart resumes its activity, and then my mind stops. This is not the sleep of death. This is a restful sleep to recover the energy to wake up again. I wake up. I feel sick. My whole body is in pain, and I have a sharp headache each time my heart throbs.
何が起きた。
I can't remember because of the sharp headache. My body is cold, probably from lying on the floor for a long time. The only certain thing is my ripped uniform and my own blood on the floor. I get up with a hazy head. The spot where I was lying looks like a murder scene.
本当に。
Had my chest pierced? Bearing the pain, I enter the closest classroom. Moving to the locker with unsteady steps, I take out a mop and bucket.
何してんだろう、俺。
I'm still in a panic. Why do I think I have to clean up when I've just met with something totally outrageous and been killed instantly? Am I an idiot?
くそ、落ちない。
I wipe the floor with the mop. With unsteady hands, I managed to get the blood wiped off and pick up any trash lying around and put it in my pocket. Maybe I'm destroying the evidence. I'm still in a daze, so perhaps that's why I'm doing something so absurd. I put back the mop and bucket and leave the school like a zombie. I get hotter as I walk. The air is so cold, but it feels like my body is burning. When I get home, the day has already changed. There's no one home. Neither Fujine nor Sakura is around now. I collapse to the floor. I lie on the ground and finally calm down. I take a deep breath. When I inhale, my heart cries in pain as if cracking apart. No, that's wrong. It wasn't just cracked. It had a hole in it. But it healed, and the wound tries to open up again when I inhale. No, that's wrong too. I wasn't almost killed. I was actually killed. But I'm still alive in spite of that, because someone saved me. Since the person was there, that person might have something to do with them. But that makes no difference to the fact that the person saved me. I have to thank them one of these days. The moment I let my guard down, the pain returns. At the same time, I feel like vomiting. I sit up and resist the sickness. I place my hand on my bare chest where the uniform is ripped. Even though I was saved, I did have a hole in my chest. That feeling. Such an unpleasant feeling. A spearhead entering my body isn't something I can forget easily. If I close my eyes, it feels like the lance is still in me. I shake off that illusion and try to calm down. The result of all that training every night. Just taking a few deep breaths clears my mind, and the heat and nausea vanish from my body. A man in blue and a man in red. They looked human, but I don't think they were. Were they like ghosts or something? But I've never heard of ghosts with form able to associate directly with people. And they were talking too. If they have their own will, it's hard for me to think of them as ghosts. I've heard that the only ghosts with a body are spirits, but aren't they shaped differently from humans? There's another fundamental problem. Those two who were who were killing each other. The murderous burglar who has appeared in the neighborhood. The ongoing ominous events in Fuyuki City. All I can tell with such thoughts is that it's way out of my league. Perhaps because the wound on my chest is so vivid, I complain about things I shouldn't. Complaining comes later. First, I have to decide whether or not it's my concern. The bell hung from the ceiling rings. This is Amaga's house, even if only a poor one. There's a boundary field that alerts me when a stranger enters the property. As I speak, I realize my foolishness. That can't be it. With this timing right after that strange incident, that can't be it. There's an intruder. Not a burglar, but an assassin who's here for my life. Because I remember that guy saying, "You saw us, so die." The house is filled with silence. In the silent darkness, The murderous intent I felt at the school is slowly drawing closer. My throat gulps. I feel a sharp chill running down my spine. I'll be instantly pierced if I move from this room. I frantically contain the scream about to escape my mouth. The instant I release it, the assassin will happily jump in and take the opportunity to kill me. If that happens, it'll be just like before. Unprepared, I'll be pierced by that lance again. The moment I think about it, my breathing goes wild. Damn it. I'm ashamed that I'm about to give up my saved life so easily, and that I'm afraid. Gritting my teeth and holding my chest, I try to restrain myself. I should get used to it. This is the second time I'm about to be killed. That alone is enough to make me want it to end differently from last time. Besides, I'm a magus. What have I been learning the past 8 years if I can't even protect my own life? Enough thinking. Right now, I just have to counter the intruder. Even though I'm a magus, all I can do is strengthen something that could be a weapon. To fight, I need a weapon. The shed has lots of things that could become weapons, but it's too far away. If I'm attacked when leaving the living room, it'll just be a repeat of what happened earlier. It'll be difficult, but I have to find a weapon here. Something long and thin would be best. My opponent's weapon is a lance, so something like a knife won't do. It would be great if there was a wooden sword or something, but of course, there's nothing. If anything here could become a weapon, it's... I'm disappointed. But despite that, I'm determined even in this hopeless situation. Things are already as bad as they can be, so they can't get any worse. So all I have to do is run forward until I run out of energy. With the words that suggest my reconstruction, I channel the magical energy into the 60-centimeter long poster. I have to turn it into something that can repel that lance, so I need to channel magical energy into every corner and solidify it. I extend my consciousness. As if soaking my blood into the poster through my skin, I permeate magical energy into it. A sense that I've hit the bottom, right before the magical energy overflows from it. I cut off all connection with the poster and shudder at the feeling of success. The poster is now as hard as metal, but it's as light as it was before, so I couldn't ask for a better sword. How many years has it been since I last succeeded at the strengthening magic? It's kind of ironic. The magic that I've never been able to achieve since Kirutsugu died is finally working in this kind of situation. I might be able to do something. I have some knowledge of how to use a sword. I hold the poster with both hands and stand up. I'll die anyway if I stay here, and I don't think I would be able to flee even if I escape this house. So all I can do is run straight to the shed to make a stronger weapon. Yeah. Drink break. Okay. Come if you're going to come. It won't be like before. And the instant I think that, my whole spine shivers. When did he arrive? Appearing from the ceiling, the guy drops straight at me. Silver light descends upon me. The guy that seems to have come straight through the ceiling descends to pierce my head. I frantically escape by rolling forward. He lands softly while I keep rolling, but I stop rolling and stand with my freshly made sword in hand. He turns to face me, looking bored.
余計な手間を見えていればいたかろうと俺なりの配慮だったのだがな。
He raises his lance again, seemingly uninterested. I don't know why, but he lacks the spirit he had at the school ground. In that case, I might be able to outwit him.
まったく、一日に同じ人間を二度殺す羽目になるとはな。いつになろうと、人の世は血生臭いということか。
The man is complaining as if he thinks nothing of me. I slowly move backwards. It's about 3 more meters to the window. Once out the window, it's about 20 meters to the shed. Then I can run off this instant.
じゃあな、今度こそ迷うなよ。
He says blankly, as if sighing it out. Pain assails my right arm. It happened in an instant. The man's lance is thrust, without time for me to react. I would have faced my second death with that blow. But what prevented it was my newly made sword. He must have thought it was just paper. The lance, thrust as if the poster wasn't there, was deflected by it and only skimmed my right arm.
ほう、変わった芸風だな、おい。
The man's expression goes away. His carelessness disappears, and he's now staring at me with beast-like eyes. I screwed up. I was just being stupidly optimistic when I thought I could do something. The thing before me is a monster beyond belief. Painfully, I realize my foolishness for letting my guard down even slightly against him. That's right. If I'd really been desperate, I should have run frantically to the window as soon as I miraculously avoided his first attack.
ただの坊主かと思ったが、なるほど。微弱だが魔力を感じる。心臓をうがたれて生きているってのはそういうことか。
He points his lance at me. I won't be able to block it. I can't possibly block that lightning fast blow. If his weapon were a mere sword, or rather if his weapon were a sword, I might have been able to at least prepare for it. But that's a lance. A sword follows a line, but a lance has a point. How am I supposed to block a blow from a point that I can't even see coming?
いいぜ。少しは楽しめそうじゃないか。
The man's body descends. In that instant, his lance is swung sideways. I block the lance coming at my face with just my instincts.
いい子だ。ほら次行くぞ。
There's a huge whirlwind. I don't know how he's moving the lance in this small room, but it makes a beautiful arc and comes to attack my body from the other side. My constructed sword, moved to stop it, bends. Is he using a hammer? Damn, this numbness feels like I've broken the bones in my arm. I swing the sword instinctively. He must take me lightly, as he hasn't pulled his lance back, so I flick away the shaft with my sword. The arms that hit it go numb. The sword bends even more, and the man's lance only moves slightly.
使えねえな。機械をくれてやったのに無駄な真似しやがって。まあ、魔術師に切り合いを望んでも仕方ねえんだろうが。
The man was just playing with me. He let me hit him once, since I blocked him twice. But I used up my one and only chance for just a makeshift attack. That's why he sees no point in fighting me anymore.
拍子抜けだ。やはりすぐに死ねよ。
He readies his lance again. During that small, unnecessary moment, without looking behind me, I jump out the window. I break the window with my back and roll outside. I roll a few times, get up, and without a thought, I turn around and swing behind me. The man hesitates a moment as I deflected his lance thrust. As I expected, if I jumped out the window, he would definitely come after me, and he would kill me even before I could get up. That's why I expected a fatal blow and swung at it. It was a bold plan. I would have died if I was a second too early, but considering the difference in our skill, I could never have been too early. So all I had to do was get up as fast as possible and swing at what was coming behind me. The result was perfect. I won my bet and deflected the man's lance. I quickly regained my balance. Now, I have to make it to the shed before he recovers. Alright, have a good one, Ino.
Tobe.
The man who supposedly had his lance knocked away comes up to me empty-handed and spins around and executes a roundhouse kick. The scenery flies past me. My battered chest is numb and I can't breathe. No, what's more surprising is I'm flying. I never in my dreams thought that I would be sent flying with a mere roundhouse kick. Ow! Ouch, 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 ouch. I fall to the ground on my back. Or from my back, right. I hit a wall and come crashing down. I can't breathe. My vision is blurred. I manage to stand, supporting myself against the wall of my destination, the shed. I track the man with my blurry vision. I must have been kicked 20 meters. The man approaches, lance in hand. I'll be killed. I definitely will be killed. The man will be here in any second. If I don't want to die now, I have to get up and face him. The lance comes at me. I can't even turn around fully, and my collapsing body faces the man's lance. How fortunate. I got lucky as I couldn't hold myself up, and my knees collapsed. The lance goes over my head and hits the door of the shed, opening it. So, this is my last chance. If I go into the shed, there should be something I could use as a weapon. I enter the shed on all fours. There. A fatal, inescapable blow is thrust. And I block it. I unroll the poster and make it into a one-time shield. A huge impact. The opened up poster did block the lance, but it wasn't strong enough, and pierced through it and transforms back into its original paper. Hit by the impact of the thrust lance, I'm flung to the wall. I fall on my butt and recover myself. When I raise my head to try to find a weapon. The man is pointing the lance at me. This is it. The man's lance is pointing directly at my heart. I know this. This is the smell of death I felt just a few hours ago. I can't hear him. My mind is focused only on the weapon in front of me. It's only natural, because I'll die when that thing is thrust, so everything else is gone from my mind. What else can I think about, now that things have ended up like this? The man's arm moves. The movement I couldn't even see before looks like it's in slow motion now. The running silver light. The spearhead moves straight for my heart. It will spill blood in the next second. I know this feeling. The feeling of metal running into me. The taste of blood coming up in my throat. The sense of the world around me disappearing. I felt all of it earlier. And I have to experience it again? Really? I don't understand. Why do I have to go through this? This is bullshit. I can't accept this. I can't just die here meaninglessly. I was saved. I was saved, so I can't die so easily. I have to live and fulfill my obligations. If I die, I can't do that. But the lance will pierce me. The spearhead will cut into my flesh and pierce my heart. It pisses me off. It's ridiculous to kill someone that easily. It's ridiculous for me to die so easily. Dying twice in one day. That's ridiculous as well. Damn. Everything is so screwed up that I can't contain it all, and...
ふざけるな。俺は
won't be killed meaninglessly. By someone like you! Truly, it
何？
It appeared like magic. In a blinding light, it appears from behind me. My mind stops, and all I know is that the figure who appeared is a girl. The moment it appears, it repels the lance thrust at my heart and steps up to the enemy without hesitation.
本気か？7人目のサーバントだと。
The man readies his deflected lance, and the girl swings something she's holding. Sparks fly twice. A strong swing. The man hesitates, receiving a heavy blow from the girl. He must have realized he's at a disadvantage, as he jumps out of the shed with bestial speed. While keeping her guard up against the man, she quietly turns to me. Famous scene. The wind is strong today. The clouds drift, and the moon appears for a brief moment. The silver light that shines into the shed lights up the girl in knightly form. I'm speechless. Not because I'm confused by the sudden turn of events. I'm at a loss for words because of this girl's overwhelming beauty. The girl stares at me emotionlessly with her jewel-like eyes.
とう、あなたが私のマスターか。
She says in a valiant voice.
マスター
I only repeat back her words. I don't know who she is or what she's talking about. All I know is that this small girl is the same kind of being as the man outside. The girl says nothing and just stares at me silently. How can I put this? The figure in front of me is so special that I forget the situation, that the man outside could come back and attack at any second. It feels like time has stopped just around me. The fear of death has disappeared, and only this girl fills my vision.
サーバントセーバー、召喚に従い参上した。マスター、指示を。
She speaks again. The instant I hear the words master and servant, a pain shoots through my left hand. It's like a hot iron has been placed on my hand. I grab my left hand instinctively. That must have been the signal, as the girl quietly nods her lovely face.
これより我が剣はあなたと共にあり、あなたの運命は私と共にある。ここに契約は完了した。
契約って何の
Even I have some knowledge of magic. I understand what that word means. But the girl doesn't answer me and looks away with the same grace she had when she nodded. She looks at the door of the shed. There stands the man, his lance ready in his hand. She moves faster than I can think. The knightly girl leaps out of the shed without hesitation. I get up and follow the girl, even forgetting the pain in my body. There's no way that the girl will be a match for him. Even armored like that, she is a girl smaller than me.
やめ
My words are silenced by the sound. I can't believe my eyes. This time, my head really goes blank.
なんだあいつ
The sound of weapons. The moon is hidden behind the clouds, and the yard has returned to its original darkness. In it, Sparks are born from steel hitting steel. The lance-wielding man wordlessly attacks the girl who jumped out of the shed. But the girl parries the blow of the lance and knocks away all following attacks, driving the man back with every blow. I can't believe it. The girl called Saber is overpowering that man. The battle has begun. What happened between me and him earlier wasn't a battle. A battle is a fight between two people who can kill each other. Whatever the difference in skills, if each has a way to kill the other, then you can call it a battle. Their fight is a battle in that sense too. The man's lance that I couldn't even see is thrown back with even more power. But the girl parries it with the thing in her hands and closes in on the man. The man retreats a bit. He holds his lance vertically to protect his ribs as the girl goes for them. For a moment, the man's lance glows. It was a blow like an explosion, and I guess it really was one. The instant the man blocks the thing the girl's holding, the lance in his hand glows as if electrified. The man, and even I, can tell what that is. That's a force of magical energy so strong that it's visible. And each of the girl's blows is a terrible amount of magical energy. That outrageous amount of magical energy is penetrating the opponent's weapon by just touching it. Such a thing. It must take such force to block it. If you think of the man's lance as an accurate sniper rifle, the blows of the girl are like those of a powerful shotgun. Every time the girl swings, the yard is filled with light. But that isn't what's overpowering the man. The man complains while avoiding the girl's fierce attacks. The girl doesn't answer, but only attacks with even more with the thing in her hands. The man retreats, with not even a chance for counterattack. That's only natural, because the girl's weapon is invisible. As he cannot sense her range, it would be careless to attack recklessly. Yes, it is invisible. The girl definitely has something in her hand. But as you can't see what shape it is, nor how long it is, you can't tell anything about it. Perhaps it's totally invisible, as it doesn't show up even when sparks fly off of it. The man must be having a hard time defending against it, as his moves aren't as sharp. And the girl lets out a voice for the first time. She swings her weapon with more fury. A storm of swings without pause. The flying sparks remind me of a blacksmith hitting iron. The lance-wielding man blocks them, clucking his tongue. I must say, I admire his skills, even though he tried to kill me. The man is blocking invisible blows, watching only the opponent's legs and arms. But that's it. You only need to beat down someone who's gone on the defensive. As if to say so, the girl steps even closer to the man and delivers a blow with all her might, as if smashing him down. He must see this as his opportunity as the man disappears. No, he jumped back, making it look like he disappeared. The girl's blow cuts through the air and destroys the ground, kicking up dust. The blow, swung as a final one, was easily dodged. I can tell even from a distance. I don't know about the careful blows from before, but such a big blow won't be able to touch that man. Even that man's body must have been straining under all those attacks. But he suppressed it for an instant and jumped away, as if this blow will determine the victor. The man who jumped back several meters jumps as soon as he lands. As if reversing his retreat, he jumps at the girl. In contrast, the girl still has her sword in the ground. That opening is irrevocable. The red lance returns in less than a second, and the girl twists her body with the sword still in the ground. So the contest lasts less than a second. The man sees his mistake and tries to hold back, while the girl uses her whole body to execute her blow. The man blown away, and the girl who blew him away, both seem discontent. It's only natural. They each launched their blows to kill each other, or to kill the other. Even if they allowed them to escape immediate danger, they were worthless. Their distance opens. The two stare at each other silently.
どうしたランサー？止まっていては僧兵の名が泣こう。そちらが来ないのなら私が行くが。
わざわざ死にに来るか。それは構わんが、その前に一つだけ聞かせろ。貴様の宝具。それは剣か？
The man glares, as if staring right into her heart.
さあどうかな。旋風かもしれぬし、双剣かもしれぬ。いや、もしや弓かもしれんぞ、ランサ
ー。抜かせ、セイバー。
Perhaps it's really funny for him. The man, the one called Lancer, lowers his lance. It looks like he's indicating that he doesn't want to fight anymore. The girl is puzzled by Lancer's action. But I know that stance. It was used in that fight a few hours ago in the schoolyard. It's the fatal move that was supposed to have ended the show.
ついでにもう一つ聞くがな。お互い初見だしよ。ここらで分けって気はないか。悪い話じゃないだろう。そら、あそこでほうけているお前のマスターは使い物にならんし、俺のマスターとて姿を晒せねえ大ふぬけときた。ここはお互い万全の状態になるまで勝負を持ち越した方が好ましいんだが。
断る。あなたはここで倒れろ、ランサー。
そうかよ。たく、こっちはもともと様子見が目的だったんだぜ。サーバントが出たとあっちゃ長居する気はなかったんだが。
It seems like the air around them distorted. Blah, blah, blah. Lancer lowers his stance. A chill runs through the air at that moment. It's exactly like back then. The magical energy rumbles in the whirlpool, centered on that lance.
Hog.
The girl readies her apparent sword and glares at the enemy in front of her. The girl, facing the enemy, knows better than I how dangerous he is.
じゃあな、その心臓もらい受ける。
The beast jumps. Lancer instantly appears in front of the girl, as if he teleported, and thrusts his lance at the girl's feet. It was a bad move, even to my eyes. With the lance already lowered, it wouldn't be effective to aim low at the girl. To prove my point, the girl jumps over the lance and moves forward to slash Lancer away. At that moment,
Gate!
With words themselves charged with magical energy.
Bark!
The lance thrust at the girl's feet, rushes towards her heart. Her body rises into the air. The girl is driven up into the air by the blow of the lance, and she crashes down. No, lands on the ground. She's bleeding. The girl who hasn't received a scratch so far is bleeding badly from her chest.
呪詛。いや、今のは因果の逆転か。
She speaks in pain. I'm surprised too. No, since I saw it from a distance, I can tell better than her that the attack just now was a strange one. The lance was definitely aimed at her feet. But it suddenly changed its course, moving strangely in an impossible direction, and pierced the girl's heart. But the lance itself has not grown or bent. It looks so natural that it makes one think that the lance was already in her heart, and for that reason, it's strange. It's not as simple as the lance changing its course and piercing her heart. The lance did not change its course, but changed the means so that the result would be so. The lance thrust with the name carried the result of piercing her heart as the premise. In other words, the process and the result were reversed. As long as there was the result of the lance piercing her heart, the course of the lance was merely something added later to prove that fact. An evil thorn that breaks through all defenses. A lance that pierces the heart every time it's used, and a weapon that determines your fate just by its use. How can anyone block such a ridiculous attack? However the enemy tries to dodge it, the lance will pierce their heart without fail. That's why this move is fatal. A cursed lance that always pierces the opponent with one thrust. But the girl has evaded it by a small margin. She is wounded, but it was not a fatal blow. In a sense, her actions were more impossible than the lance. The instant the lance was thrust, she turned and jumped back with all her might, as if she knew this was going to happen. Either she had incredible luck, or enough divine protection to nullify the curse of the lance. Either way, she avoided a fatal blow and sullied the lance's name. The girl catches her breath. The blood that was running so much has stopped, and even her stab wound is healing. I guess that's extraordinary. I knew she wasn't normal, but still, that's too strange. Like her skills to fight against Lancer, like the incredible magical energy in each of her blows, and like her body that heals by itself. This girl clearly surpasses Lancer. But that was only up until now. Even if it's healing, her wound is deep. If Lancer attacks her now, she'll be defeated without even being able to defend herself. But with this overwhelming advantage, Lancer doesn't move. He glares at the girl, grinding his teeth so hard that I can hear it.
かわしたな、セイバー。我が必殺のゲイボルクを。
A voice that seems to echo from the ground.
ゲイボルク。オミはアイルランドの光の巫女か。
Lancer frowns. His hostility disappears, and he clucks his tongue in annoyance.
ドジったぜ。こいつを出すからには必殺でなけりゃやばいってのにな。まったく有名すぎるのも考えものだ。
The pressure goes away. Lancer doesn't attack the wounded girl and simply turns his back and moves to the edge of the yard.
己の正体を知られた以上、どちらかが消えるまでやり合うのがサーバントのセオリーだが、あいにくうちの雇い主は臆病者でな。
逃げるのか、ランサー。
ああ、追ってくるのなら構わんぞ、セイバー。ただし、その時は決死の覚悟を抱いてこい。
With one bound, Lancer easily jumps over the wall and disappears.
待て、ランサー。
The wounded girl starts running to pursue the enemy.
バカかあいつ。
I run through the yard with all my strength. I think that the girl will go after him if I don't stop her instantly. But there was no need for that. When the girl tries to jump over the wall, she clenches her chest and stops. I run to her and stare at her. No, I try to approach her to call out to her, but I forget about it the instant I come near her. To put it simply, everything about her is absurd. Now that I'm near her, I can tell that the shining armor she wears is really heavy. The old-fashioned cloth is smooth, a vivid blue. No, that isn't what fascinates me. The girl, who seems to be a few years younger than me, is beautiful. The golden hair lit by the moonlight is finely textured, as if sprinkled with gold dust. The face, with some sign of naivete, has elegance, then I skipped the text there, and her white skin looks soft. I can't call out to her because I'm fascinated by her beauty, and also for another reason.
なんで。
Because seeing this girl fighting and getting hurt somehow made me mad. No matter how strong she is, or how armored she is, I think it's wrong for a girl to have to fight. All the while I'm fascinated with her, the girl has her hand on her chest. But that ends quickly. The girl lets her chest go and looks up as if the pain has gone away. She stares directly at me. I'm not sure how I should talk to her, but I notice something about her.
傷がなくなってる。
Even though it missed her heart, that lance stabbed her in the chest. But she's unscathed. I've heard of healing magics, but I didn't see her using anything like that. So that must mean that she automatically heals even when she's wounded. Then, my brain switches gear. This is no time to be fascinated by her. She's a strange being. I can't let my guard down until I know what she is.
お前何者だ。
I take half a step back and ask her.
何者も何もセーバーのサーバントです。あなたが私を呼び出したのですから確認をするまでもないでしょう。
The girl answers in a quiet voice.
セイバーのサーバント。
はい。ですから私のことはセーバーと。
She replies without hesitation. Her tone is polite yet gentle, and just hearing it makes my head go blank. Hey, what am I getting excited about?
そうか。変な名前だな。
I hide my burning face with my hand and reply really stupidly. I don't know what else to say. I wouldn't know of any such thing to say. Since I ask her name, isn't it natural to introduce herself? And in that case, it would be impolite to stay silent like this.
俺はシロ。エミやシロって言ってこの家の人間だ。
What am I doing? Are my answers getting stupider? But she told me her name, so I should answer too. I know I'm confused right now, but I have to be polite no matter who this is. The girl, Saber, just stares at me without changing her expression.
いや違う。今のはなしだ。聞きたいのはそういうことでなくて、つまりだな。
分かっています。あなたは正規のマスターではないのですね。
ね。
しかしそれでもあなたは私のマスターです。契約を交わした以上あなたを裏切りはしない。そのように警戒する必要はありません。
Crap. I can hear her words, but they make no sense to me. All I know is that she's calling me with a ridiculous word like master.
それは違う。俺マスターなんて名前じゃないぞ。
それでは素人。ええ、私としてはこの発音の方が好ましい。
As soon as she says my name, I think my face lit up on fire. Shouldn't you call someone by their last name on a first meeting?
ちょっと待て。なんだってそっちの方。
Pain suddenly runs through my left hand. The back of my hand is burning. My hand feels like it's on fire, and on it is a strange mark that looks like a tattoo.
それは令樹と呼ばれるものです。シロ。私たちサーバントを律する3つの命令権であり、マスターとしての命でもある。むやみな使用は避けるように。
Before I can finish with "are you," the air around her changes.
シロ、傷の治療を。
She speaks in a cold voice. It seems her attention is on something far away, behind the wall, and not on me. But is she expecting me to heal her?
待て。まさか俺に言ってるのか。悪いけどそんな難しい魔術は知らないし、それにもう治ってるじゃないかそれ。
Saber frowns a bit. I think I said something really wrong there.
ではこのままで臨みます。自動修復は顔面を覆っただけですが、あと一度の戦闘ならば支障はないでしょう。
あと一度って何を。
外の敵は2人。この程度の重圧なら数秒で倒し得る相手です。
Saying so, Saber jumps lightly. Just like Lancer, she leaps over the wall and disappears outside. I'm left alone in the yard.
外に敵。
As soon as I say it out loud, I realize what it means.
ちょっと待て。まだ戦うっていうのかお前。
My body starts to move. Without thinking, I run to the gate with full force. I run to the gate, unlock it with trembling hands, and jump outside.
サイバー、どこだ。
I search through the dark. The moon is hidden now of all times, and it's completely dark. But I hear something nearby.
そこか。
I run to the small road with no sign of anyone on it. It all happens in an instant. Saber is confronting a familiar guy in red. Saber runs at the man in red without hesitation, takes his guard down in one blow, and easily slashes the man in red. Saber raises her arm to finish him off, but right before the man in red's neck is slashed, he disappears and powerful magic is cast. Saber doesn't stop. She dashes to the person behind the man in red and easily cuts off the large spell the person launches. I knew she was strong, but this is overwhelming. That spell right now was at a level of intervention magic that I can't even compare with. Father could use one as strong as that, but to cast a natural intervention of that power instantly, I don't think even a first-class magus could do so. But Saber nullified even that masterclass magic. The enemy must be a magus, as the match is decided right there. The magus's attacks are no use against Saber, and she mercilessly attacks the magus. A sound of someone falling backwards. The magus has miraculously dodged Saber's blow, but the enemy now cannot move. Saber corners the enemy and points her invisible sword. My mind freezes. Probably because the moon lights up the scene for an instant. I can tell that the figure Saber is pointing at is human. I can't tell who it is, but the image of Saber killing someone and getting splattered with blood pops into my head. Saber moves. She'll pierce the enemy's throat with the thing in her hand.
Yamero! Saber!
I scream as loud as I can. Her sword stops. Thank God I can't see her sword. The end of her invisible sword isn't wet with the enemy's blood.
Yamero! 頼むからやめてくれ Saber!
I address her, glaring, preparing myself to do my best to stop her.
なぜ止めるのです、シロ。彼女はアーチャーのマスターです。ここで仕留めておかなければ。
No, Saber has no intention of stopping. She only stopped because I said so, and is ready to bring her sword down at any time.
だから待てって人のことをマスターだとか言ってるけどこっちは点でわからないんだ俺をそんな風に呼ぶんなら少しは説明するのが筋ってもんだろ
Saber doesn't answer. She only stares at me in silence.
順番が違うだろセイバー俺はまだお前が何なのか知らないけど話してくれるなら聞くからそんなことはやめてくれ
Saber is silent, still pointing her sword at the fallen enemy. She looks at me discontentedly.
そんなこととはどのようなことか。あなたはむやみに人を傷つけるな。
Not hurting anyone unnecessarily? Well, it's true that we should avoid fights as much as possible, but I'm not so good-natured as to release someone who came to attack me.
つまりあなたは敵であれ命を絶つなと言いたいのでしょ。そのような言葉には従いません。敵は倒すものです。それでもやめろというのであれば、令状を持って私を律しなさい。
いや、そんなことっていうのはお前のことだ。女の子が剣なんて振り回すもんじゃない。怪我をしてるならなおさらだろう。ってそっか、本当に剣を持ってるかどうかはわからないんだっけ。いや、とにかくそういうのはダメだ。
Reasonable, Shiro. Really reasonable. Saber looks dumbfounded, as if taken aback. How long were we standing like that?
で、いつになったら剣を下げてくれるのかしらね、セイバーさんは。
The figure on the ground suddenly speaks. Saber suddenly returns to concentrating her attention on her sword.
諦めなさい。敵を前にして下げる剣はありません。
あなたのマスターは下げろって言ってるのに？セイバーともあろうサーバントが主に逆らうって言うんだ。
Saber grits her teeth. But Saber lowers her sword and relaxes. Saber's hostility disappears, so she must have put away her sword as well.
さ、なら立ってもいいのよね、
The one on the ground stands up. She looks shameless, brushing her rear. Hey, wait a second. That sulky person is definitely... What?!
お前、遠さか。
ええ。こんばんは、エミヤ君。
Tosaka Rin replies with a big smile. That gets me. If she greets me normally like that, everything that happened until now seems like a dream, and... no, my head's about to explode. Jeez. How easy would things be if it did?
いや、だから、さっきの魔術は遠坂が使ったってことだから、つまり。
魔術師ってことでしょ？まあ、お互い似たようなもんだし、隠す必要もないわよね。
When she replies clearly like that, it makes me seem stupid for asking.
いいから、話は中でしましょう。どうせ何も分かってないんでしょ、エミヤ君は。
So saying, she walks towards the entrance.
待て、遠坂！何考えてんだ、お前！
And then, she turns, and the smile on her face isn't like the previous one.
バカね、いろいろ考えてるわよ。だから話をしようって言ってるんじゃない。エミヤ君、突然の事態に驚くのもいいけど、素直に認めないと命取りって時もあるのよ。ちなみに今がその時だと分かって。
She glares at me.
分かればよろしい。それじゃあ行こっか、エミヤ君のお家にね。
Tosaka goes through the gate.
なんかすげえ怒ってるぞ、あいつ。
It's only natural. She had a sword pointed at her until now, and she was almost killed.
いや、それにしたって。
Is it just my imagination, or is she totally unlike how she seems at school? Okay. And that is where I'm going to end this episode. It's been a long one. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed. And, I'll be posting more soon. So I will talk to you guys next time.